Hey everyone, today we're back with another roundup of some of my favorite travel and everyday carry gear. In this video I'm going to be talking about some of the items that have been particularly helpful as I've been working from the road. Whether I'm in a coffee shop, hotel, the airport, I still want to be able to work as efficiently as possible, and these are some of the things that have really helped make that possible. So really excited to dive in. Before doing so, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Epicka. They make some really great travel accessories. I'm going to talk more about them in a minute, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. The Aer City Pack Pro 2 has quickly become one of my go-to bags for pretty much any situation. The modern styling that it offers allows it to blend in well into an office setting. It's going to be great for exploring, great for traveling. It's got very rugged materials, ballistic nylon exterior, YKK zippers. The 24-liter capacity is very versatile. I can use this for my day-to-day without it feeling too big. It can be a personal item on a flight. It can even work for minimal travel. And then the layout is super useful. You have dual external water bottle pockets, great handles on the sides, at the top. And the harness system on this is going to be one of the most comfortable, really nice padding on the straps. On the back panel, you have a luggage pass-through that will allow this to rest on your suitcase. And then you have a really great pocket layout, quick access pockets on the front to be able to, quickly grab your stuff while you're on the go. On the top, you have one that's going to be great for smaller items, an admin compartment with plenty of space, even for something a little bit larger here, some internal organization, slip pockets. You have a dedicated laptop compartment that is padded, suspended. It's going to be able to handle a 15 or 16-inch laptop. You can drop it in very easily, and you have a soft lining on the back. And for the main compartment, you have a clamshell style compartment, which is going to make it very easy to organize your stuff. It can handle packing cubes. It can handle my typical modular setups with pouches. And so it gives you a lot of flexibility with what you can carry, a couple of zippered pockets on the lid. So this is just a layout that I've come to love over the time that I've been testing this out. And if you're looking for a modern bag that can kind of do it all, then this can be one of the best options to take a look at. Whether I'm going about my day-to-day or traveling, a good tech pouch is going to keep my stuff protected, easy to find, and it's also going to prevent my bag from falling into chaos. And this is where this new tech pouch from the sponsor of today's video, Epicka, comes in really handy. Epicka is focused on creating a more seamless travel experience through its gear. They have some great travel adapters, and now they have this new tech pouch, which has a modern design with really solid materials that are going to help keep your stuff protected from bumps, from water. It has an anti-static lining, and on the exterior you have carrying handles so that you can easily grab this, pull it out of your bag. You also have a really interesting luggage pass-through that will allow you to rest this on your suitcase while you're going through the airport. This is something that I hadn't seen before. And then you have a quick access pocket on the front so that you can grab the items that you need most often: charging cables, portable batteries, some headphones. And then you have a 60-degree opening that will allow you to easily access your stuff. If you're holding this with one hand, it'll also allow you to place this down next to you. This is a great self-standing design, and I really like the layout here. You have two spacious compartments that are going to be able to handle both your accessories like charging cables, travel adapters, and you have organization built in to the sides of the bag, so elastic pockets for things like your mouse. You have a zippered pocket in the middle for smaller accessories like dongles and memory cards. And then you have additional elastic bands on the other side for more cables, adapters, a couple of slots for a pen, a stylus, and then a padded pocket on the back that you can use for your phone. And so you have a great variety of organization to just make it easy to get to what you need, have the confidence that it's going to be protected. And if you're interested in picking up one of Epicka's new tech pouches, make sure to use the code and link that I've included in the description below so that you can get 20% off. Although I'm a fan of cloud storage services, when I'm on the road, I still always have a portable solid state drive with me. I've been a big fan of these options from Samsung for their size. They're just super slim, compact. They can pack into any bag without taking up a ton of space. They have USB-C. The speed of these drives is incredible. So you can actually edit from the hard drive itself. And now they offer 2 terabytes in something this small, which is fantastic. As somebody who's editing a lot of high definition video. It takes up a ton of space. And so this has just been much easier than having to worry about some sort of a reliable internet connection. You know, if I'm at a coffee shop or abroad, I can just have this with me, access what I need, have a backup, which is super nice. And I was particularly interested in this edition because it seemed to offer some extra protection against drops and the elements. So just very rugged for something that, you know, I really need to depend on so that I don't lose my footage, so that I can access my data. And so if you're interested in, you know, just having an extra way to manage your files while you're on the road, then these portable hard drives from Samsung are gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. One item that I always toss in my bags is some sort of USB-C hub. I really love the variety of ports that this provides so that you don't have to depend on just what's on your laptop. And with the advent of USB-C, these are compatible across a wide range of devices, and I love that you can just plug one thing in and have multiple different accessories attached. And so I've usually used these in the past for HDMI connection. Now those are starting to make their way back into laptops, but it's still great to have for something like my iPad or my phone. I'll just plug this in and then I can use a larger screen if I'm staying at a hotel or, you know, if I'm working remotely. And there's lots of different options for these available. Here I have Apple's solution, which is of course more minimal. It just has a USB-C port so that you can charge your device, an HDMI port and a USB-A port. And so this is kind of one of the more minimal options, but I always like to have this one because it just gives me the most peace of mind. With, you know, many of the third-party options that you can now purchase on Amazon and things like that, you just don't always know how reliable they're going to be or if they could cause any issues with your system. And so I have a couple of different options, but I find myself reverting to Apple's solution probably most regularly. But there are going to be some options that will provide some extra USB-A ports, micro SD card slot, regular SD card slot, extra USBs, and, you know, I've seen even larger ones with many, many more ports. So, you know, what I really love is just, again, having something simple that I can plug into my computer and then have some extra functionality when I need it. This portable wireless printer from Rongta is something I didn't even know existed. In addition to the sleek form factor, one of the coolest things about this is that it's an inkless printer. And that's something I hadn't really interacted with before, but I have always felt the pain of needing to print something quickly and running out of ink or having ink that has dried because I haven't printed in a long time. Nowadays, it's becoming a little bit more rare to print, but those times that I do, it's usually on some sort of a time crunch. I've also experienced the pain of needing to print while I'm on the road and not having an easy way to get it. And that's where something like this can be a really interesting solution. And so this is a very portable size. It's something that, you know, is about the size of a water bottle. It could slide into a side pocket if you needed to, but, you know, it's gonna be very slim and it's gonna look great on a desk if you have a more minimal setup. So even at home, this has become something that I've really enjoyed using. Of course, the fact that it's wireless is a big plus. You can connect it to your laptop, to your phone, you can move it around. It does have a cable to allow it to plug it into your laptop if you prefer to do so, but I really like the different options that you have for printing. There's a great app that you can download on your phone and print, you know, from your email, from your cloud services. You can take pictures, and I've been really impressed with how well this actually managed to print. And so in order to use the printer, because it is inkless, you have to use a particular type of paper. And so that took a little bit of getting used to. This is my first experience with this type of printer, but once I got it figured out, it was pretty quick and I was able to print a shipping label very clearly. This is something where I've had many issues in the past with shipping labels where I print it, came out kind of blurry, I had to print it again, I wasted more paper, more ink, and so I was really excited when I got this. I was able to, you know, see my images, my documents, very high quality, and so you'll have to have the type of paper that works with this printer, but you know, that feels pretty comparable in price to ink, and you don't have to worry about it drying out, which is a big plus for me because, as I said, I'm not printing as frequently. And yeah, so far it's just been a nice additional accessory. It looks great, it's performed nicely, the battery life has been good, and then, you know, of course you can charge it via USB-C, and you know, it covers all the needs that I would have for a printer that would have typically taken up much more space or made me have to deal with ink, which I just definitely didn't want to do. A portable battery seems to be on everyone's packing list these days, and it makes sense as you want to keep your devices charged while you're on the go. And there are a ton of different options on the market, but the one that I continue to come back to is this option from Anker that I've had for a couple of years now. There are lighter options on the market, and there are some that are going to offer greater capacity, but to me, This has always offered a great balance as far as the size, the capacity, the form factor. I absolutely love that it is MagSafe compatible, so it attaches to the back of my phone. It can charge wirelessly, but you can also charge via USB-C. The capacity that it offers is enough to keep my phone charged throughout the day. And one of my favorite things is that it also doubles as a phone stand. So it has this cool flap on the back that comes out, and it will allow you to stand your phone up in portrait mode horizontally so that you can watch a movie, you can take a call. I'm always a fan of anything that serves multiple purposes, and this has always been one of my favorite accessories. I use this on flights, I use this when I'm working out at a coffee shop or something like that. And I've been impressed with how well it has held up. After a few years, it still keeps its charge. It's done a good job. It's always been reliable. And you know, any portable battery is gonna be good to have, but if you're looking for something that's gonna give you that extra bit of functionality, then I think this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. If you're worried about losing or forgetting your stuff, a location tracker like Apple's AirTags can be super helpful. I, of course, am in the Apple ecosystem, so I have bought a ton of these. I know that there's other options from different companies. I love the small form factor of these. You could just toss them in your suitcase. That's usually when I've used them, just to make sure that, you know, if I get separated, I have an eye on where it is. And then I have one of these in my bag. I really love the variety of accessories that are designed around these, you know, tags so that you can place them wherever you need them to be. You can see them all from your phone, see the location. I like that they can make a sound. And so these have been life-saving for my wife and I as we misplace things, even just around our houses. And so you can buy them individually or get them in a pack of 4 or something like that. And there's just so many interesting uses. So again, if you want to be able to keep track of your stuff, this is going to be a really interesting and simple solution to check out. I've talked about this in previous videos. Headphones for me are a critical piece of gear. The style of headphones that I'll have with me might depend on the type of bag that I'm using if I'm traveling, but regardless, I'll usually have at least 1 or 2 of these options with me. I've mentioned several times how much I've come to really appreciate wired headphones that I could plug into my laptop. It's just super reliable. It's something that I don't have to worry about losing or getting damaged. It's pretty cheap to replace, and it just always works. I don't have to worry about charging them. And then I always love having AirPods Pro with me because they're so compact. They work well within the Apple ecosystem. You could swap between devices, and these offer a pretty good amount of noise cancellation for their size. So if I'm traveling with one bag and I don't have the space for a larger set of headphones, but I still want to have some level of noise cancellation, these get the job done. And then of course, if I have a little bit more space, or if I'm working, domestically, I'm not traveling and I'm actually just going to a coffee shop or something, a pair of over-ear headphones is fantastic to just help you stay focused, block out the noise. There's a lot of great options on the market. I continue to go to the Beats Studio wireless headphones because they're just very comfortable to wear over longer periods. The noise cancellation doesn't make me dizzy or anything like that. I like that they still have the option to use an auxiliary cable if you want to. They charge via USB-C. They also work well within the Apple ecosystem. They have great battery lives, and so they just continue to work very well for me. And regardless of which of these I end up using, it's just something that I always like to have with me, not only for work, but also for entertainment, as I love watching movies, TV shows, and listening to music on flights and while I'm working. This Levitate portable standing desk has been one of my favorite purchases of the past couple of years. I love the form factor. It's super slim and easy to toss into pretty much any backpack. And then when you need something that's going to allow you to stand while you're working, you can open it up. It's got this really interesting folding design. And then you have a little table that you can place at a coffee shop or wherever you might be working, rest your laptop and work standing, which is how I prefer to work. And it's something that is easy to bring around with you. A portable standing desk sounds like something that would be huge and bulky or expensive, but this is something that didn't cost too much. And you can see that it's starting to get a little bit beat up, but given how much I've used this and how long I've had it, I'm actually impressed that it's holding up as well as it is. And so, if you're somebody who either wants to experiment with a standing desk or is looking for something that's gonna be travel friendly, then this is gonna be really tough to beat. Although I'm comfortable using the trackpad on my laptop, it's always nice to have a wireless mouse, and I know there's a ton of great options on the market. I personally still really like Apple's Magic Mouse. I know the ergonomics on it aren't everyone's favorite, and it's still tough to overlook the fact that you charge it on the bottom. With that being said, it still just works so well for my workflow, particularly for editing. I love the horizontal scrolling. It, is reliable. The battery life is good. It does charge quickly. And I really love the form factor. For travel, this is just something that's not gonna take up a lot of space. It'll slide into pretty much any pocket. And so it continues to work well for when I prefer to use a mouse. And I absolutely love the black colorway that is available now. And so regardless of whether it's the Magic Mouse or some of the awesome options from Logitech, if you wanna have just a little bit more comfort when you're working, then this is always gonna be a great thing to have in your bag. For people who need a larger or additional screen while they're on the road, there are now some really cool portable monitors available. I've had this one here for a couple of years now, and there are definitely some sleeker and more modern options available, but this one has continued to work well for me, so I haven't felt the need to replace it. And I absolutely love the form factor that some of these have. Pretty much feels as slim as a laptop, and then you have this one here that folds, and it has a cover that protects the screen while you're packing it into your bag. And then when you arrive, you can open it up, and then you have a couple of different levels that you can set this at depending on the viewing angle that's gonna make sense for you. So it's really simple. It almost looks kind of like an iPad case. And then you have a 15-inch screen that you can pair with your laptop. And I really like that this one can be powered by USB-C. So I just have one USB cable and I plug it into my laptop, and that is enough to actually use the monitor. It also includes additional cables if you want to plug it into an outlet. If you start to push it a little bit further, if your laptop is lower on charge, you have the support of being able to power the monitor on its own. But I like that for the most part, I really don't have to worry about it. It gets the job done. It's not the brightest or highest definition display. I imagine that as you go up in price, you'll be able to find something that might meet your needs better if you're a designer, someone who needs a little bit more clarity to do their work. But for me, this has been just fine. And it's always been nice to have the extra capacity when I've needed it. And then just the fact that it's so portable, I can put it away. And it's just been a helpful accessory to have that doesn't take up a ton of space for those times when I know that the type of work that I'm gonna be doing is gonna go a lot more efficiently if I have an extra screen. And so that's it. Those are some of the travel and everyday carry accessories that I've been enjoying as of late. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on anything that I talked about in the video or suggestions for similar gear that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to some of the other roundup videos that I've done for my favorite travel and everyday carry accessories across a couple of different categories, as well as links to the videos where I've shared my favorite one-bag travel options, my favorite tech and everyday carry bags, some of my favorite travel clothing. And if you have ideas for other roundup videos that you'd like to see, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank Epicka again for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out the link that I've included in the description below and the code so that you can pick up one of their new tech pouches for 20% off. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.